If you do have a question, please write it down. There's some cards up here at the table. Come to the table, write it down, and submit your question. They'll get that to me. I will start this, since Mike, since you opened up, we'll start the first question with Drew, move down the line and then come back. Justin, you'll take the second question, move down the line and come back. All right? So we will begin the timing now. And Drew, first question. Our Second Amendment states that we have a right to bear arms. What exactly does that mean in light of our modern times?
All right, thank you. Thank you for the question. As I did mention briefly in my opening statement, I am a strong supporter of the Second Amendment. I have an A rating from the NRA. And the Second Amendment for me is one that it's very near and dear to my heart as a hunter and as a sportsman. So first of all, it protects our right to hunt. It protects our right for self-defense. And those are the big things there is that the Second Amendment was put in place to protect the citizens. And one thing Kayla brought up earlier is in some of these rural communities, there are times where law enforcement may be farther away than what you'd like. So, I mean, I've got a strong record of supporting the Second Amendment. I think in South Dakota we're generally on the right track with where we're going. And I see I've got to wrap up. But yeah, I mean, I'm definitely a strong supporter of the Second Amendment and will continue to be. Thank you.
I am also a strong supporter of the Second Amendment. Growing up in South Dakota, obviously, like I'm a hunter. I like to go hunting. I like my guns. I want to keep my guns. I don't want anybody to take them away from me. So.
Likewise, I echo the comments made before me that I am also a supporter of the Second Amendment.
As a farm kid from out in southeast South Dakota, one of the most important things that we did was do our pheasant hunts and deer hunting and things like this. Is important to us. I believe that Second Amendment gives us rights that are important. We should continue to have those rights. I think that everything is within reason. The people on the other side that are saying, well, we should do more looking at people as far as their mental health or perhaps the size of the weapon they use. I don't know if we need a bazooka to go out and get a pheasant, but I'm in favor of going out and getting pheasants. Thank you.
Yes, thank you for the question. The right to bear arms has been in our history since history began, I guess, in America. Very, very important that we continue that right to bear arms and keep the Second Amendment intact. Although there is some caveats, things have changed since many, many years ago on the type of arsenal that is available for public. So I think that bears looking into. Thank you.
I believe I already stated that I was a supporter of the Second Amendment rights. You know, we look at that and once we start tweaking something, it just is unidentifiable. I don't think that the guns are the problem. It's the people that misuse them. And so no restrictions on the right to bear arms.
Thank you for the question. Again, my name is Janae Hansen, House candidate for District 2. And I certainly believe in the right to bear arms. Hunting is one of those things in South Dakota that is an economic opportunity. Tourism is our second leading industry. So I think we are all going to agree that the right to bear arms is something that exists. What I would like to see is an increase for prevention, for gun safety and some of those different things, to make sure that if we have guns, let's make sure that we're using them safely, that our kids know those safety standards and different things like that. And so that's what I would like to see in our modern times, in the times of shootings and different things like that. Thank you.
I'm Brooks Briscoe from District 3, and I support the Second Amendment also. I do think we need to think a little bit about not necessarily restrictions, but regulations. When a 16-year-old can go to a private gun show and buy a gun with no recourse, not showing an ID, no background check, we certainly could do better to see who's getting these guns and where these guns are going. Nobody up here wants to take away your guns. I was a hunter too growing up. I have a gun at my house, but I do think we need to regulate it a little bit, and I am opposed to the NRA. The NRA to me is just a lobby for gun manufacturers and weapons manufacturers, and they don't do what they initially intended, which was gun safety and education. Thank you.
I'm Caleb Weiss, and I think that the guns aren't the problem. It's a lack of education about guns that's the problem. If I hand my 5-year-old a hammer and he doesn't know what to do with it, he's likely to hit his sister and hurt her. But if I teach him how to use it and I hand him a hammer, he's going to start to pull nails and put nails in with it and use it as intended. If we will teach our kids what a gun is for, what, the damage it can do, and how to properly respect it, you will see a lot less problems with gun issues. Thank you.
Yes, I'm also in favor of maintaining our rights to bear arms in the Second Amendment, but I do think, as we mentioned earlier, there are some regulations and some restrictions. I mean, you have a lot of paperwork to do if you want to go out and buy a machine gun nowadays. It can be done, but I think those type of regulations and those types of guidance from our legislative community needs to be in place to, as was said, education is a good thing about gun control and teaching people to use them properly and correctly, but also having the regulations in place to limit the arsenal that are available today. Thank you.
All right, next question.